I often get asked, how do we fix current real estate investing operations? Okay, so whether you're starting out in real estate investing, whether it's wholesaling, rehabbing, landlording, whatever it is, I often get asked, how do we fix current real estate investing operations? And the way that we do that is by focusing on three main things. So one is the proper and ideal lead generation strategy for your main goals. It needs to be 100% custom. The second piece is, what is your sales process in which you're actually being able to acquire those discounted properties that are ideal for your exit strategy? And then what are the systems that are tied behind it? Too often, as I'm chatting maybe in the DMs or people that email me back or that participate in our free Facebook group, they may say, oh, I'm focused on rehabbing and flipping, but yet they don't have any lead flow of this kind of properties or resources to actually take the property down, or they don't have experience with construction, right? Or maybe somebody is saying, hey, I just quit my job and I want to be a full-time landlord. And while you may be able to do that, with private money raising, the thing is, without the lead flow, without the deal flow, the discounted house, the discounted real estate that you can get at the ideal cash offer price or at the ideal terms and payments, there's no deal to be had. And so that's why it's important to go ahead and focus on these three to actually fix a broken real estate investing business. So the first thing I'm going to say is with leads, the first question that you have to ask is, does it fit my exit strategy? Okay. Does it fit my exit strategy? And then, does it align with my resources? Okay. And that will be either time or money. That's my interpretation of a clock here. These two things will tell you what your lead generation strategy needs to be. Because an exit strategy for flipping, if you're going to be rehabbing, looks a lot different than one that is for landlording, okay? And looks a lot different than one that is from wholesaling. And then the other piece is you have to understand what is your advertisement budget, if any, and what is your time budget, if any. Now, what we do in our REI Profits Fast Track is we start first with a guaranteed inbound lead generation source, because these leads are worth probably 4 times. They're probably worth 4 times than an outbound lead. So you either have to have, I'd say, anywhere between 20 hours per week for outbound, and for paid advertisement, my recommended budget is about $2,500 per month minimum. If these two, if you don't have either 20 hours, a week, or $2,500 a month to invest in your own business in marketing, lead generation, and systems, then you're just not committed enough, right? We don't have unlimited resources, so we need to make sure that our exit strategy lines up with the marketing that we're doing and then the resources that we have, okay? Now, once you have your ideal lead generation strategy set up, you need to be able to convert those leads, because if you don't convert those leads, nothing's gonna happen. You're just gonna fumble the ball. You're gonna blame the lead. I can't tell you how many times people pay for advertisement just to not answer the phones, send leads to a voicemail, or just be too slow. Maybe too damn slow to actually get the contract. So when a motivated seller actually is motivated to sell their property at a discount, it's a very narrow time window. And if they're Googling a cash out sale, if they're getting 10 postcards in the mail, you have to have systems so that they answer the calls 24/7 and that you can follow up ferociously until you get a hold of them. With sales, which is the next piece, there's a couple things that you have to understand. One, you need to have a repeatable sales process, because eventually we hire these out to VAs, okay? We train to VAs, so it has to be repeatable. It's not about you being the best salesperson. That's great if you could be, but you need a system that actually is repeatable by maybe somebody like a virtual assistant. So it has to be repeatable. Also, it has to be non-pushy. Nobody really likes to be sold, so we base a lot of our sales process in actually pulling the prospect over into their desired solution versus being just pushy, you need to sell now, sign here. We actually want to help the seller by qualifying the house for a cash out sale. And similar to like a mortgage process where you're filling out 100 forms. We're not making them fill out 100 forms, but what we're trying to do is working with them to see what the best scenario is. And a lot of times a cash offer is not, but maybe taking over the subject to mortgage, or maybe actually doing a short sale, which we're seeing a lot more of these days with people that are upside down in their mortgage. Maybe that is the best solution. And so we're here to serve, not to take advantage of these sellers, but you need a repeatable sales process that you can actually delegate, that's non-pushy, and that also is essentially efficient. You need to be able to categorize what type of seller you're dealing with so you're not wasting your time. And so in our case, we have 4 types of sellers. We have the wacko leads, which, you know, they're just unreasonable. It makes no sense for you to be wasting your time with them, following up with them. They just let the system, which we're gonna talk about later on, you know, handle that. Then we have the retail sellers. These people really should just go ahead and list. They don't need repairs. They can wait it out. They're okay with doing showings, and they want their most money, okay? And then we have the uneducated sellers. So these people, they do have a timeline. They may or may not need a whole lot of repairs, but they have a reason to sell. They have a reason to take a discount. So typically the sellers that we want to work with are people that value time and convenience over money. And then you have the laydown leads. So the laydown leads, they're already very, very motivated. They probably already know that the house needs repairs, and they're probably already priced right. The issue here is you don't want to scare them away by being too aggressive, okay? By having a sales process that could be delegated to a virtual assistant, you know, it makes the difference so that you can actually scale. So we got our lead system set up right, and so that aligns with our exit strategy, and we want to make sure that we protect our resources. We have a sales process that's repeatable, non-pushy, efficient, so that we can categorize, you know, in which one of these buckets this falls in. You actually need a system that does a lot of the follow-up for you. And so you want the system to be able to tell you, hey, what's a contact, what's a lead, and a close. So you need a process, a system that takes you from contact to close, okay? So contact stage is essentially somebody that raises their hand and says, hey, I'm interested in a cash out sale, I'm interested in an offer, I need more information. A lead is somebody that you spoke with, because it's, you know, out of these contacts, there may be like spam leads, there may be just non-sellers. So we haven't quite qualified them yet, but once you qualify them as a lead, like somebody that we could actually maybe do business or refer them over to somebody else, you know, that's a lead. And then on the close stage is whether you close it or you wholesale it, okay? And so these are the main 3 things that any wholesale business or any real estate investing business needs to fix primarily, okay? I'm really of the thought that you can't really say you're a rehabber or a landlord or anything else until you understand how to master the buy, how to get properties under contract at a wholesale price or, you know, a great terms, creative terms, because it doesn't matter what you think your exit strategy is gonna be. If any of these 3 are broken, you're just not gonna be able to make revenue consistently, and you're just gonna be in that hustle hamster wheel. So I invite you to go to our website, www.WiFiFlips.com. Take a look at a free webinar, which we discuss things. And if you're interested in getting help, actually you can go ahead and schedule a free strategy session. So more of the links below here, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.